Hey, gang, my name is Carl White, and we're going to be sitting here for the next 15, 20, 30 minutes, something like that, interviewing the great Mr. Tyler Stone. So Tyler is the founder and president of Capstone Financial, and where he specializes in privately funded loans for the commercial and fix and flip investment properties. And Tyler, you wrote this great article that's entitled Icing on the Cake in the July edition of the Scotsman's Guide. And I read the article last night and again this morning. Man, really good stuff on SEO type things. And so, first of all, man, great to see you here on the Showcase the Authors podcast.
Well, thank you very much. Great to be here. And I like talking about SEO because it's taken me 5 years to grasp that, and now everything's going artificial intelligence. Those new letters are AI, and I don't have a grasp of that yet. So we're real happy to be talking about SEO today.
All right, great stuff. I would almost argue. So first of all, if for our listeners, if you have not read the article, make sure you go to the scotsmansguide.com and subscribe to the magazine. But you can also grab the article there on the website, and I'd strongly recommend that you do it. When I saw the icing on the cake, and after reading your article and the compelling push, I would say, into, boy, you better be doing SEO, and you had a great argument for it. Man, this might not be the icing on the cake. This might be the cake. Like this is right. This might be like a real thing. Hey, so first of all, I want to start off with something. I think the timing of this is pretty interesting. That I just finished reading a study where it said the title of the study was something like, "How did you find your loan officer?" And it gave the different percentages of how the consumers found their loan officers via social media, SEO, their bank, friends and family, real estate agents, a builder. It gave the different pieces. Get this, man. I thought this was really interesting. It said that what was the numbers? I think it was, and this off the top of my head, social media, 3%. In other words, 3% of people found their lender on social media. I would have thought that number much higher.
Me too. Yeah.
And the other, that SEO was 375% more than social media. Isn't that interesting?
Well, when they're answering the question about how did you find your loan officer, it's social media and then SEO, I wonder what question they were asking the respondents, where the respondents would have said SEO. Maybe they would have said something like, Google search.
Oh, which is what it was, right? Which would have
been, the result of a good SEO habits and program and that kind of thing in your marketing department to make sure that you had good SEO, which is search engine optimization. You had good search engine optimization for all your listeners that never actually had anybody say what SEO stood for, right? Yeah.
That's a good start for sure.
There are some of those, and so it's it's what makes our websites come up on Google searches and Facebook ads and that kind of thing. If you're not putting money into pay-per-click advertising, and I'll be honest with you, Carl. I mean, I've had my runs in pay-per-click advertising or pay-per-click marketing stuff, Google and Facebook, and I either have not, the results haven't been there for me. I don't know if that's my fault or if that's, the market being flooded with loan officers, using pay-per-click and having big budgets for pay-per-click, or not even loan officers themselves, but huge corporations, Quicken, Quicken or Bank of America's or whatever it might be, or large brokerage houses that have a national footprint that are just flooding the pay-per-click space with big, huge budgets that small lenders like Capstone Financial and loan officers and brokers around the country that are Scotsman's Guide readers just don't have the marketing budgets to compete with millions of dollars for pay-per-click, right? So we all have to really focus on SEO, search engine optimization, which is really to say it's organic click Google search type of marketing where, it's things you do on your website or your social media like YouTube or Instagram, those types of things where you're writing SEO friendly type descriptions, that type of stuff, where when people are doing the searches, there's that content behind your website, behind your YouTube reels, Instagram reels, whatever, that really drives traffic to your website and moves you up on the Google search ranking. So that is SEO. You can think of it as the organic approach to online marketing versus the pay-per-click approach.
Well, I think so.
I have to edit the hell out of that.
Yeah, no, that was good stuff. So, and I think it surprised me when I saw the stats on how SEO was 375% better, higher results measured by closed loans than social media. I found that surprising until I started thinking about that. And it was like, let's just say, I don't know, whatever, Facebook, Instagram, whichever one I'm on. If I'm on a social media site and maybe I'm checking out my buddy Tyler to see, what you're doing, how was your weekend? You just got back from vacation. Where'd you guys go? Is checking up on my kids, what's happening in their life, kind of thing. And then somebody bounces in there with, hey, you want to get a loan? And I go, no, man, I want to go check out Tyler. Like I heard he had a epic vacation. I don't want to get a loan right now. Whereas on the search engine, I'm searching in there, hey, I'm getting ready to buy a house in Charlotte, North Carolina. Who can help me with a loan? Much different response in my ads because that's exactly what I'm looking for. So anyway, hey, you mentioned a couple, which I had not really thought of these. You mentioned a couple different factors or different types of search engines optimization. So I thought we'd talk about that a little bit. Sure. And, I think you mentioned like on-page optimization, off-page optimization. What is technical optimization? Let's talk about that a little bit. So when we say on-page optimization, what is that and what should I be doing as a loan officer?
I'm not actually an expert in that stuff. I have a marketing woman here at my office that handles that stuff for us, and she's great. But I don't really know the differences between on-page and off-page SEO. I mean, I know there's things like, meta tags. I know there's things and those I think are considered off-page SEO things. And then there's also what I'm assuming the on-page type SEO would be kind of the SEO friendly YouTube clip and reel type descriptions that people put, just below the video playing on YouTube or on Instagram, that kind of thing. I think that's what they mean by on page or on your website. When you have different pages on your overall website, making sure you're using phrases and words and key phrases that are particularly intentionally placed in your web page that is a commonly searched phrase. There's ways you can go into Google and the Google ad accounts, that type of stuff, and you can get information on top 10 mortgage related search phrases or whatever, or you can put in a phrase, you can type in a phrase and you can get some information back from Google about how often that phrase is entered for a search item, right? So some of those things you might want to, place into your website and part of your content. So I'll give you an example. Rather than saying, your intent is to find people that need to get a mortgage now, right? That's the best case. That's the best case scenario.
Yeah.
A good scenario is that you attract people that need to get a mortgage sometime in the future. That's good too. It's just a long-term lead. But hey, we're humans. We like instant gratification. We got bills to pay. We're trying to build our customer base now. Let's just be being realistic, right? So an even better lead is someone that needs a mortgage now.
Yeah.
So a phrase we might put on our website would be looking for a great mortgage officer. Okay, that's a phrase we might put on our website, but it's not a specific enough phrase to attract a borrower who needs a loan now. So instead, a more friendly SEO on page phrase would be something like need a fast mortgage, need a loan quickly, loan California mortgages that close fast. That's a long phrase, but you can put that in there. Things that have the underlying concept of urgency, where you have a borrower that's ready to buy now. They found a house, maybe they're working with their realtor. If they are working with the realtor's probably referring to their best buddy loan officer, but maybe that best buddy loan officer blew their own foot off, right? Figuratively. So that's where they're on the website. California, need a California loan officer, need a West Virginia loan officer, need a Florida loan officer, Texas loan officer, Illinois loan officer. I got hit a middle state, so I don't get anybody mad at me. A Nebraska loan officer, right? An Iowa loan officer.
Yeah. I like what you're saying there, that on like, and I saw a recent stat said that when people look online, that 15% are looking for a mortgage in the next 90 days. 85% are closing after 90 days. Still a good lead. Somebody obviously we want to be following up on. But on that 15% that's buying right now, what I'm hearing you say is you attract them by using bait. I don't know if bait sounds kind of predatory, but you know what I mean.
That's
like using bait that's going to attract the people that you want, like need a loan now, need a loan to close fast. Right. That's going to be the attract the 15% that's buying in here in the next 90 days. So it sounds like in your particular case. So I heard you mention a few minutes ago, you have somebody either in your office or a third party person that you use that helps you with your SEO. Is this something that you recommend the loan officer focus on, or is it a good idea to find somebody to help you with this stuff? Like, how do we put this into action?
Actionable things. I would, what I would recommend is every loan officer or broker do some basic reading on it. I do not recommend that a loan officer goes in and tries to put in their own SEO program or system.
Yeah.
But what I would recommend is, hey, we can Google SEO companies to help me with my website, right? You'll get a billion of them. And remember, starting your SEO program on your website or on your Instagram channel or Facebook or whatever social media you're using. When we go back to the beginning, when we started talking about this is the organic approach to building leads in there rather than spending money on pay-per-click, this is not going to change your business overnight. This is something that you're going to have to work on for months and years and develop. This is good habits. This is, when you change your eating habits, you don't lose 25 pounds in 1 month. Right? You're going to lose 25 pounds in 1 year if you change your eating habits, or maybe even 2, right? So if you think about SEO as living a healthy lifestyle in the context of your digital presence, you will have the right expectations set in terms of what types of results you're going to see from your SEO program or strategy. So, for example, I'll give you an example. 2 years ago, let's say, I think we averaged 50, 60, 70, leads in through our website or something like that, per month.
Okay.
Well, we back some things out. Okay, well, to hit these certain production goals, we need to be at 100 or 120. Well, it's taken, now we're there. We're at 100 or 120 per month, that kind of thing. But it wasn't something that we started pay-per-click and the next month we had that. We could have done that, but then we would have had a lot of trash leads and we would have spent a lot of money because, to buy a click for fix and flip loan search phrase on Google is really expensive. So to buy a click for a loan officer in the conventional space, to buy a click of the Google search Chicago loan, California loan, San Francisco loan, those are really expensive clicks to buy. So it's way better to live a healthy lifestyle in your digital world.
Yeah.
And just develop good habits and know that your expectations are for your lead traffic and the quality of your leads. Very important. The quality of your leads to improve and your lead traffic to increase over time being 6 or 12 months, and have that type of expectation. Once the broker, loan officer, our listeners have that expectation in mind, I think it's a great idea to go on Fiverr or Upwork, take advantage of the quote gig economy. You might get some guy that's in India or Nigeria or Ukraine, right? I will tell you, I'm involved in the Ukraine in a couple different things, just in other things that have been involved in my life. And I had no idea that there was such a technology, economic mass of expertise in that region of Europe. Of course, hey, there's technology expertise in every crack of the world right now. So if you go on Upwork or Fiverr or whatever, just, hey, this is, you write 3 sentences, you're going to get a bunch of responses from all over the world of people that'll do this stuff for you at a lot lower price point than trying to pay, trying to do this through the Microsoft website or whatever,
Yeah.
You get my point. So set your expectations, know that we're talking about living a healthy lifestyle digitally, and look for outsource it to some place where $5 goes a long way, right? So get on Fiverr, get on Upwork, find your source there, and just remember it's going to be a long evolution to where you want to be.
We found that exact same thing. I remember somebody telling me not too long ago, said, Carl, if you want to make fast money, go open up a hot dog stand. You'll make money this very afternoon. If you want to make big money, it's not a hot dog stand. It's the mortgage business. It's long money is where the big money is. And I think setting that right. And then how do we measure the results of our SEO? Is it just simply just as easy as just counting our applications or our leads that we get from it?
Yeah, I mean, you do have to set your KPIs or key performance indicators, and it might be, how many leads are coming through your website or your Instagram or Facebook. How many people are contacting you on Facebook and whatnot. So really, it is you just have to set your own KPIs, and that might be the amount of leads that you get per month, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, or it might be, it might be your average loan size. That might be another KPI you're tracking. So another thing the loan officer might track is interval between lead coming in and closing an actual loan off that lead, what the average is. If you're going to use that KPI, I would also use a KPI that tracks percentage of leads in closing, and maybe throw out all the leads that haven't closed a loan yet, so you can measure what your lead time is to closing on the loan, on the leads that are closing. And then you can just have an overall closing ratio of your leads, incoming leads versus closings as well. You can use that as a different KPI.
What does a lead look like for you? Like when we're talking about getting a lead via SEO, is that an email somebody saying, hey, I might be interested? Is that do they actually start filling out a loan application? Is it just an opt-in? Like what does a lead look like to you from
For
SEO?
us, it's someone who's a broker or a borrower that's gone to our website, filled out our scenario form. We have a scenario form on our website that is, address, purchase price, obviously location, purchase price, if it's rehab, refinance, or purchase. It's the scenario. It does not include the borrower birth date. It does not include the borrower's social. There's no personal information other than the borrower's LLC name, the broker's name, how many points they're charged, and that kind of thing. So it's a filled out scenario form is what we count as a lead. It is pretty much everything. It's pretty much everything an application would ask for, minus financial information on the borrower.
Yeah, I get it.
And their birth date and social.
What kind of ratio do you find these types of leads coming in? What kind of close ratio we're looking? And I get it. Some's gonna make application, the next day, and some might be, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days later. But if we say over a 6-month period, what kind of conversion rate are we seeing with these things?
We have about a 10% close ratio, and it would be, to compare it to conventional, it would be I would say 80% of our business is through brokers. So we are primarily a wholesale mortgage bank.
Okay.
And probably 90%, to be honest. And a good measuring stick is a conventional loan officer on his pre-qualifications, where he sends out pricing, how many of those close. I don't think 10% is a very high closing ratio. We get shopped a lot against, bigger competitors that have huge credit facilities. Of course, those credit facilities have gotten more expensive, or they've gone away. So a lot of lenders in my space have closed their doors, or they've gotten just as expensive as us. We're 100% private. We're a lot smaller than many of the competitors that are on the national landscape. Other authors for Scotsman's Guide are working for banks or companies that are 10 times our size, maybe 50 times our size. But we are 100% private. We don't have any covenants or conditions that we need to go by or satisfy with our credit providers. So getting back to closing ratios, our interest rates are a point, maybe a point and a half higher than a lot of our competitors. But these are 5-8 month loans, and people, this is opportunity money. This isn't, I need a low interest rate type of loan, right? So
right.
I do think we get shocked quite a bit, and we lose some loans due to rate, where borrowers just, I don't want to pay 12.9%. I think I should be 7.9%. But they're not really realizing that that's an underwrite that would be that is a more appropriate in a subprime world, right? Or 7.9 now. That'd be dang near conventional.
That's I was going to say that's pretty darn close to it. We're finding the same thing. So I'm a branch manager, one of the largest branches in the nation, and so it's, which is a mortgage, just I'm not wholesale like you, right? Or mostly wholesale like you. But anyway, so on our the SEO that we're doing, on the standard conventional FHA, VA type Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac loans, we're seeing about what you are. Our SEO are closing 17 to 18%, which is strong, because like a referred lead, like say from a real estate agent, is 25%. You're talking about 18%, not that far down. And we're talking about people that's never heard of us before, not that far. And if we compare that to our social media leads, they close at like about a 1, maybe a 2%.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking even like a 10%, well, that's like 10 times better than a social media. So you really bring a great attention to, this is really something for loan officers to pay attention to.
Yeah, well, he made me feel better about my 10% too.
Yeah, well, which is great. I mean, for private lending like you're doing, that's it is 10% is impressive. That 1 out of 10 closing, that's stout. So good for you.
Yeah.
Hey, so if we gave, I always like to leave these with, so our listeners are looking at this, and we always like to send them send them on their way with an action item. So
Sure.
I just read the article, which again is titled "Icing on the Cake" in the July edition of the Scotsman's Guide. I just read the article. I listened to this podcast. Tyler, give me an action item. What should I go do first?
This is what I would do. I would go to Fiverr or Upwork. I'd
Okay.
probably go to Fiverr. And I would type in there, I would enter a gig request or a need, whatever, new customer type of thing. And just simply say, I'm a loan officer looking for SEO help. I have a Facebook, an Instagram, a web page. I put those links into the thing. I need help increasing my SEO. And leave it at that. And submit it, see what kind of responses you'll get.
Love that.
All you really need to do, I mean, the best thing to do, I'll tell you what, man. The best thing to do in any scenario, personal, professional, whatever, is just say, I need help.
Mm.
You want to be successful at anything? Get in front of a group of people, an audience of any kind, one person or 10,000 persons on Fiverr, and say, I need help. That simple sentence is going to signal an opportunity to your audience. It's going to signal a vulnerability of yourself to your audience. It's going to signal a willingness to be coached and accept information to your audience. What's that, 3 words? It's amazing what 3 words of English language conveys to an audience. Just get on Fiverr, say, I need help with my SEO, program, my SEO strategy. I have these social media or digital assets, digital asset being your web page, that kind of thing. Just say that. You'd be like, I think the listeners would be blown away if they went on Fiverr, typed in that paragraph of what kind of response they got.
Yeah, brother, that might have been one of the best. I've been doing this a long time. I've talked with a lot of people. I've been coached. I've coached with tens of thousands of loan officers, literally across the nation. That might have been the single best advice I've ever heard. I love the simplicity of that. I need help. Man, that's great stuff. That really is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize what an impact that those 3 words are. Maybe you did, because that's why you said it, right? So that's really good. And the people that will come to you, I've always thought the strongest people in their fields are the first ones to say, I need help with something. Heck, you look at the president of the United States, whoever he or she is, surrounds themselves with a cabinet, most powerful man, woman, and arguably in the world, and they have a cabinet to give them help, right? So they say, I need help. Great stuff, man.
I mean, it's the same thing. Or, a lot of people talk about, hire people that are smarter than you. Okay, well, that's a great piece of advice too. But it starts with, I need help.
Yeah, love it. Good stuff. Well, I see we're at the top of the hour here, Tyler.
Yeah.
Man, I could talk about this for a while, man. And my guess is you've got I know you've written a handful of articles for the Scotsman's Guide, and I'm really
we try to write every other month or so. We try to write for them every month. They're, some of those guys are from Washington State University, where I'm from, and they've always been really nice to me. I like all those guys up there. Every time I talk to someone up there, they're real professional and good folks. So if anybody has a chance to interact with anybody at Scotsman, they're just quality people up there.
Class act group of people, no question about it. So, all right. So again, this Tyler Stone, founder and president of Capstone Financial. And Tyler, really appreciate you. Any contact information if somebody wants to say, hey, tell me more about how you guys specialize in privately funded loans for commercial and fix and flip investment properties, I can reach you by?
Yeah, you can first of all, the website is www.capstone.fi, like short for financial.com. So www.capstone.fi.com. And, listeners to your podcast, I'm going to give you my cell phone number, actually. We have an office number that's 480-336-2828. But I'm going to give everybody my cell phone number that's listening to this, and that is 480-737-3268, 480-737-3268. I mean, you can text me, call me. I'm a single dad, so if I don't text you back right away, then just know I'm taking care of a kid or two and go from there.
Good for you, man. I like you already. So good stuff, Tyler. So appreciate you being on here. Hey, listeners, thank you so much for giving us your time. Tyler and I are both honored that you would spend the last 30 minutes with us. It was an honor to be a part of your day and part of your journey to awesome success. So on behalf of the gang over at the Scotsman's Guide, thanks so much. We asked two things. Send this episode to 3 of your favorite loan officers. They'll appreciate it, and certainly myself and Tyler will. And also, whatever platform you're listening on, if you'd just give us a quick review, just an honest review. We like those 5-star reviews, but just an honest review. We appreciate that, and that helps get the word out. And we love hearing your feedback on different topics that you'd like us to cover.